Hello, Lavina's here. What's up? Lavinia, excuse me. I got your name wrong already. That's a terrible start. Lavinia. Wonderful. Let me know that you can hear me. Let me know that you can see me. Please. Just shutting down one or two more things on my computer. It is. What date? Today is August 26th. Tomorrow's my mother's birthday. Make sure if you see her, wish her a happy birthday, please. Can you all hear me? I'm going to turn it on my phone just to make sure. Yeah, good. Oh, hold on a second. Am I going to lose these stories? I am not. I don't think so. All right. Let me just see. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Sorry, folks. I'm a little unorganized right now. Good morning. Hello, Gania. Hello, Rezvan. Happy birthday to her. It is a very happy birthday tomorrow for my mother. Absolutely. So I'm guessing that you can hear me. Is that correct? That you have no problem hearing me? Would I be correct in saying that you can hear me? Just looking up one more thing on my phone. Excuse me for my tardiness. Blip, blip, blip. Okay, stop that, swipe up. Let me just make sure I can hear it on my phone. We can. Okay, wonderful. Just looking up one yes. More thing. Wonderful. Welcome to English on the Road. English by donation. Phrasal verbs number 5. Today's a good one, guys. Today we got some complicated phrasal verbs. We got some tough phrasal verbs. And my plan is to, of course, help you learn English, hopefully make you laugh, have a good time, all of that jazz. So, I'm just going to move my computer screens all over the place. Laddie. Everything is okay, clear, good. So who's all here? Let's see. We got Zabaka, 1000. Rezvan, Gania. We got the crew. We got a new one, the Y3NX. Good to see you. Thank you for joining me today, everyone. Thank you so much. It does mean a lot. And now, let me just move some things around. Kaboom! Would you look at that? That's me. Okay, so today we are looking at 5 phrasal verbs. And just to get to identify phrasal verbs, we're going to do some listening. We're going to look at some synonyms. I hate that word. We're going to look at keywords and, of course, reflection. And if you have any questions, hit me up. What do you mean you can't open your eyes? It's 10 o'clock in the morning. It's not late. Come on now. You know? I'm an early bird. What can I say? My name's Ronan. I do not like sleeping. So the aim, teach you 5 phrasal verbs, get you to speak to yourself, teach you some new words, improve your listening skills, and of course, raise some money, raise some much needed money for the Bridge Kelowna. And, some people contact me saying that they can't donate money, and guys, that is absolutely fine. If you can't donate, that is not a problem. If you can share, that would be amazing because maybe someone else you know can donate. But the reason I'm doing these is, number 1, social responsibility. It's for a good cause. It's for the Bridge Kelowna. They do some great work. Number 2, I know a lot of people don't have money, or a lot of people do have money, but they can't actually donate because of restrictions, because they don't have bank cards or anything like that. And that's fine. I just love teaching English, so that's why I'm doing this. So don't worry about it if you can't donate anything. If you can donate, just think about buying a coffee, like whatever money you would normally buy a coffee with, or I don't know if you find some change or something, maybe donate that. Anything would be good. So that is one of the main causes. The work they do is amazing. It is sensational work that they do. The money is going towards a youth recovery house, which of course is extremely important. That is for people under the age of 18 who have substance abuse issues, and yeah, this is just a really good cause. So anyways, so Lavania, I'm sorry, oh boy, I feel on the spot now. It's in Sicily, it's evening. All right, and what do you need? You need a pen, you need some paper, you need some chocolate ice cream, some beer, some wine, anything like that will help. I actually have my coffee here. Wow. All right, let's just get straight into it. So we all know what a phrasal verb is. A phrasal verb is a verb and a preposition. You know, like I wake up, I turn up, I go out, I eat in. They're all different phrasal verbs. And here is a beautiful set of 5 phrasal verbs. So some of these are probably straightforward and some of these might be a little bit different. Can you identify the phrasal verbs in this slide here? Can you spot the phrasal verbs here? There's 5 of them. Just move my mic. All right, number 1. Wind up. Zerbaka coming in hot again. Last week Zerbaka was on fire. Zerbaka is still on fire. Holy moly. Yes, indeed. Where's my earphones? Good. We're getting some really good answers there. I'm just looking at the comments. Good. Zerbaka is still on fire. Holy moly. Yes, indeed. Count on, settle down. Good. We're getting some great ones there. Get over is another one. Good job, folks. And tell me, are any of these new? Are any of these phrasal verbs new for you? Are any of these phrasal verbs different for you? Like, are any of these maybe difficult to pronounce? Like, number 1, the pronunciation is very important for that, and we're going to focus on that later. But very quickly, number 1 is wind, not wind, wind. W-I-N-D, wind up. So that's the first one that we're going to be looking at, well, later on. Cool. PowerPoint gone. Get over. Excellent. So we have winds you up. We have settled down. We have brought out. We have count on, and we have get over. So these are all different phrasal verbs that we're going to focus on today. So, as we know, we do listening here. And as you know, if you've been here before, the way the listening works is real simple. The listening works by me reading out an answer, and you need to decide, is it A, B, C, or D? So, all right, so this one is very straightforward, and it's one of my favorite parts of this one, where I think of answers, and I give you the answer, and you need to decide, is letter A with number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, or number 5? So, let me just have a quick drink. And let's get started. A. Yes, I hate math, but that professor was amazing. He would motivate the worst students to try their best. Maybe I need this for the B and the P sounds. A. Yes, I hate math, but that professor was amazing. He would motivate the worst students to try their best. Zabaka says a 3. The Yannick says 3. Lavania says 3, and you're all correct. Absolutely. Good job. Good job. Timocrates, you're back. Welcome back. A3, good job. B. Oh, that's not an easy one. I think travel is a great way to move on from a relationship. Certainly healthier than Tinder. B. Oh, that's not an easy one. I think travel is a great way to move on from a relationship. Certainly healthier than Tinder. So some answers coming in saying number 5, B5. B. Oh, that's not an easy one. I think travel is a great way to move on from a relationship. Certainly healthier than Tinder. And you're all correct, guys. It is number 5. Travel is certainly healthier than Tinder. And Lavania, I absolutely hated math when I grew up. I'll get to that later. C. When we were kids, my siblings really pissed me off, and they enjoyed it. They would always steal my toys and hide them. It drove me mad. C. When we were kids, my siblings really pissed me off, and they enjoyed it. They would always steal my toys and hide them. It drove me mad. C. When we were kids, my siblings really pissed me off, and they enjoyed it. They would always steal my toys and hide them. It drove me mad. And yes, the answer for C is number 1. What winds you up? What drives you mad? What pisses you off? D. I can see myself buying a house or cottage in the mountains by a lake or by the ocean, somewhere in the wild without a lot of neighbors. D. I can see myself buying a house or cottage in the mountains by a lake or by the ocean, somewhere in the wild without a lot of neighbors. D. I can see myself buying a house or cottage in the mountains by a lake or by the ocean, somewhere in the wild without a lot of neighbors. And yes, you are all correct. D2. 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 Where do you want to settle down in the future? And of course, we have one more, which is E. E. Well, we all know the answer is already. There's only one left. That's an easy one. I can always rely on my friend Jared. He's a top-notch person who is only a phone call away. He's always had my back. E. That's an easy one. I can always rely on my friend Jared. He is a top-notch person who is only a phone call away. He always has my back. And exactly, that is number 4. Who is a person you can always count on? You're not good at math. Good job, guys. So y'all got those answers fairly swiftly. You're getting good at this. I need to make it more difficult for the future, maybe. You know? But, yeah, so there were, like, if you're watching this on a delayed stream, I mean, you can just listen again, you can go back and you can try to catch the listenings. And I would strongly recommend that you do listen again. And then you listen, you pause, and you repeat. It's actually a really good way to practice pronunciation and to hopefully learn some new words. But here are the answers here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have A, B, C, D, E. As we know, number 1, what winds you up was 1C. Where do you want to settle down in the future? 2D. Can you think of a teacher that brought the best out of you? 3A. Who is a person you can always count on? 4E. And what is the best way to get over a person after a relationship? 5B. So they were the answers all together. And these were like, now you can see it. And just a quick question. Looking at the answers, is there anything new there? I mean, I do get into the keywords later on. But just looking at the answers, like C, D, A, E, and B, are there any new words or new expressions there? I'm just going to watch the comments for a moment and see what you all say. I'd love to find out what you think. 9 people here. Awesome. Just looking through the comments right now. Hello, Blackboard English is here. We have a celebrity in the house, everybody. That's awesome. Welcome. Oh, my screen is too big. Hold on one second. My face is too big. I need to move it. Boop, 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 boop. Maybe that's better there. All right, wind somebody up means to make me angry. Good. Top notch. Some other, I'm going to write these ones down because at the end I will be going over those words. Rely on. Move on. Awesome. Let me see. Top notch. Yes, Jared is a top notch guy. No doubt about it. And there's a few other phrasal verbs there. There's a lot going on here. So it's not just a phrasal verb lesson. We're here to learn a bit about everything that's going on in all of these sentences. But good. Good to see that we got some things. Top notch, high value. Lavania, absolutely. Good job. I think that's on my keyword list for later on towards the end of the lesson. Coffee time. All right, so let's just have a quick look at the meaning. And this is where we'll really talk about wind up. Wind up, turn on, 1 second. So wind up is a little different to turn on, but let's have a look at the meanings. All right, so here we have, on the left, we have the phrasal verbs, and on the right, we have some definitions for these phrasal verbs. So the idea here is to try to figure out what is the most basic meaning. Now, every phrasal verb has lots of different meanings, and these ones here that I've created are just some examples of what these phrasal verbs mean. So, for example, wind up. W-I-N-D, wind up. Settle down is to plane, wind up, turn on. So, if you were to match wind up to one of these meanings on the right, which one would it be? What do you think wind up means? Just looking at the list right there. Number 3 says Aidan, so wind up to irritate a person. Good job, Aidan. Aidan, you've clearly had some great English teachers. For those of you that don't know, Aidan was my student in the past. Wind up, irritate a person. Good job. Absolutely. So to wind up is to irritate a person. And remember, in the example, in the listening exercise, I spoke about how my siblings irritated me. They used to steal my toys. They did a lot worse than that, but I kept it tamer for the live. So then what does settle down mean? Settle down. Settle down. Who can give me settle down? Zabaka has settle up, so I'm going to guess a settle down is what you meant, Zabaka 1000. But settle down would be to live somewhere long term. Yes, Lavania, absolutely. Live somewhere long term. Good job. Bring out. Bring out. Bring out. Now this was a hard one to get a definition for. Bring out is not the easiest one by any means. And bring out has a lot of different meanings. You might say, hey, bring out the cards tonight, which would mean bring out the cards. Of course, bring out means bring out. I'm a great English teacher. Hello means hello. How are you means how are you. Alright, focus. Alright, so bring out. In this example here, remember we spoke about the teacher. And we spoke about the teacher who could bring out the best of students, even the worst students. And in this case, bring out is motivate. Now, bring out has lots of meanings. And if you bring out the best in a person, you kind of like help that person to be better. You know, if you have a partner, you really want your partner to bring out the best in you, for example. So bring out is almost to motivate or something like that. So we'll get into detail in a moment. Count on. All right, count on is to rely on a person, and we'll talk about rely on towards the end. I marked it as one of my keywords. And of course, to get over is to not think about anymore. So wind up, irritate a person, settle down, live somewhere long term, bring out, motivate, count on, rely on a person, and get over, not think about anymore. Alright, not think about anymore. So like very quickly, just before we get into the ASMR pronunciation aspect, alright, like wind up. What winds you up? Traffic might wind you up. Stupid people might wind you up. People who travel to other countries and insult the locals wind me up. Really pisses me off. Trump winds me up. You know, these are things that anger me. These are things that piss me off. You know, there's lots of different things that wind people up. You know, when you're walking on the footpath or the sidewalk and there's like a really slow person in front of you and you're trying to get past the person but you can't get past the person, they wind me up. Or if you're in an airport, airports wind me up. There's way too many people in such a small place. Who's the best person you can count on? Good question. I can always count on my friend Jared. Always count on my family, my brother, my sister. Yeah, stupid people wind me up. Good. I remember, stupid people wind me up. Good job. Oh, shoulder. When you were in school, was there a teacher? Okay, ignorant people. My colleagues wind me up. I hate slow walking people. Sabaka, we are like-minded. I like it. I like it a lot. Good. Lots of great examples there, folks. Lots of great examples. All right. What is... can you think of a person that you can count on? Can you think of a person that you can really rely on? Can you think of a person that will not let you down? Can you think of a person that you can make a phone call to if you need help and they will help you? Because that is a person that you can count on. Okay? So count on is to like really trust a person, to know that a person will help you. Good job, Zabaka. You know what? That's a great answer. I can always count on myself. That's for sure. Zabaka, that's an amazing one. I really like it because you need to be able to count on yourself. And some people don't count on themselves enough, but I know personally speaking, I can count on myself. No doubt about it. Nothing winds me up. All right, Iodon. We'll see. Vania, piss off is like wind up. Yes. Absolutely. What pisses you off? What winds you up? What makes you angry? Anything like that. I count on my sister. Good one. I move away if I... Oh, good job, Iodon. So if something is going to wind Iodon up, she will remove herself from the situation. And that's another great example. And that's honestly a good way of doing it because everywhere you go, there's going to be someone that winds you up. There's no doubt about it. So sometimes you just need to move away. You need to step back. You need to remove yourself from the situation. But yeah. My mother is the person I can count on. Agreed. And it's good that you have that. Because some people don't have that. And it's sad, but I'm glad that you do have that. You know, as a teacher, I always try to be someone that my students can count on. You know, I think it's a responsibility of a teacher. I can always count on my friends to be honest. I can always rely on my friends to be 100% honest. Inflation in my country winds me up. Great example. To get over from an illness, how long did it take you to get over COVID, for example? How long did it take you to get over your flu or your cold? You know, your friend might call you, hey, you want to hang out, you know, on a phone? And that's when you might say, well, sorry guys, I'm trying to get over a cold right now. I can't come out. Good. So there's a lot of good ones. And Lavanya, with that example there, get over. In my example, it was like to get over a person, which is not think about a person anymore. And in the one you said there, get over an illness. And that's why phrasal verbs are so important in the English language, because a phrasal verb has so many different meanings, so many meanings. And number one, get over, not think about a person. Number two, to get healthy, for example. I need to get over this illness. We count on our government. We count on our folks more than government. Oh, man, 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%, Razvan. I don't count on my government for a lot anymore. And yeah, I count on my family, no doubt. I got over my difficult situation. Good job. So, lots of good phrasal verbs there and lots of fantastic examples. So, this is your favorite part, I believe. Let's have a look at some pronunciation, shall we? So, this first one here. This is going to be the important one. This is going to be the hardest one to pronounce. Oh, hold on, I need to move my face. My face is in the way. Whoops. That's better. Okay. So, this one here. This is going to be the important one. Sabaka, I'm all ears. Good. Oh, hold on, I need to move my face. So, what you should be doing at home, I don't know. Maybe you can't. Maybe you're on the subway. But if you're in your house, or if you're somewhere that you can actually repeat these, it's actually a really good way to learn, is to just listen and repeat. And there is some pedagogical thought behind that. So let's just give it a go. So in this first one here, that word W-I-N-D, you know, some people say wind, and wind is that force outside that blows things around, like the wind blew away the leaves. But in this example here, it's going to be a little bit different. This one here is wind, wind up. We used to wind up our teachers in schools. Sorry, school, not schools. We used to wind up our teachers in school. We used to wind up our teacher in school. Wind up. Wind means also happen. Yeah, we can use wound up as a result, actually, Lavinia. Good call. Ask me towards the end and I'll try to remember to answer that one. I hate my sister. She always wound me up when we were kids. I hate my sister. She always wound me up when we were kids. Wound me up. I hate my sister. She always wound me up when we were kids. So in the first one, wind up. And in the second one, wound up. So it's a little bit different. Wind up, wound up. And that's obviously present and past. And in these cases here, like that first one is a real example. We were horrible in school. I went to a school of 800 boys. It was crazy. It was like an animal house, like a zoo. And I mean, we'd always try to piss off our teachers. We'd always try to wind up our teachers. And if we ever had a substitute teacher, it was like almost like a competition. Who can piss off? Who can wind up the teacher even more? So, I mean, boys can be horrible, I guess, or just teenagers can be horrible. I don't know why I became a teacher after all the shit I put my teachers through, but... Would the D sound get dropped from wind if a native speaker pronounced it quickly? So if a speaker of English, you know, it doesn't need to be a native speaker, just native level speaker maybe we could say, but we would say we used to wind up. So yeah, it's not the strongest D. It's a bit of a weak D. She always wound me up. And especially with this one here, the second one for the past tense, wound me up. She always wound me up. So wind up also means shut down or end. I wouldn't say shut down or end. Oh, it can mean. So that's a different meaning for the phrasal verb. Yes. The event wound up at 9 p.m. So this is again the thing about phrasal verbs. I mean, I could do an entire presentation on wind up because it has 5 or 6 different meanings. They are, oh my god, my writing is terrible. Okay, so that should be they are a good match. So excuse me, they're a good match. They bring the best out of each other. They are a good match. They bring the best out of each other. As a teacher, it's important to bring out the best in your students. As a teacher, it's important to bring out the best in your students. He stopped drinking because alcohol brought out the worst in him. He stopped drinking because alcohol brought out the worst in him. Bring out, brought out. Bring out, brought out. They're a good match. They bring the best out of each other. As a teacher, it's important to bring out the best in your students. He stopped drinking because alcohol brought out the worst in him. So in those 3 different examples there, they're a good match, they bring out the best of each other. And it's like if you are in a relationship with a person, you want to be in a relationship advice at Ronan, you want to be in a relationship where you bring out the best in each other. You know, you motivate each other to be better. You motivate each other to do good in the world, for example. Hello, Farouk Ali. Nice to meet you. As a teacher, it's important to bring out the best in your students, and that's so important. You know, if you're a teacher, you need to create an environment where you can bring out the best in your students, where you can motivate your students, where you can help your students. And you can help your students feel confident to express themselves. Lavania, yes, let me down, make me sad. Let down is when someone disappoints you. Absolutely. Bring out something in somebody. Rezvan, 100%. My name's Ronan. I'm an English teacher. I try to bring out the best in my students. And that is more than just helping them speak English. I'm a settlement English teacher. A settlement English teacher means I teach settlement English, which is the English you need when you move to Canada. You know, and it's like I try to bring out the best in my students. I try to help them the best and help them settle into Canada as much as possible. You bring me out with your lessons. Thank you. Thank you. And this one here, like, he stopped drinking because alcohol brought out the worst in him. You know, and that's a common case. Let's be real. Like, maybe you don't drink and that's fine. I've kind of stopped drinking. I'm trying to cut it out 100%. It's certainly not easy. But in that example there, like, I know people. I have some people I know, some friends I know. And they're lovely people, but as soon as they drink alcohol, oh my god, they turn into dickheads. Excuse my French, excuse my language, excuse my Irishness. Yeah, like, you know, there's a phrase or something like alcohol can turn a nice person into an asshole. And that's something I do believe. And like, my dad grew up in a pub. He worked in a bar. His family had a bar. And a bar, a farm, and a shop, very Irish. And there was 1 or 2 customers that you couldn't give whiskey to, because if someone had whiskey, it would bring out the worst in them. They would get violent, they would get angry, and it is what it is. So for some people, alcohol brings out the worst in them. And it's like something reveals. So if you're in a relationship, try to find someone who brings out the best in you. Good job, guys. And the last ones. ED sound again. Remember, we looked at this in the first week, I think. I can't believe I counted on him. He let me down. can't believe I counted on him. He let me down. I can't believe I counted on him. He let me down. Don't worry, you can count on me. Don't worry, you can count on me. Don't worry, you can count on me. So, as Lavania asked me, let down is to disappoint, and yes. So I can't believe I counted on him, he let me down. And that means that you were expecting someone to help you, and they didn't help you. How do you feel? Well, you're not going to be happy. This is not good. You know, if you counted on a person and they let you down, it's sad. It's definitely not good. You feel disappointed. And don't worry, you can count on me. That's a nice expression. It's like if I'm talking to my friend on the phone and I'm like, hey, can you help me? And they say, don't worry, Ronan, you can count on me. That means that I can rely on them. That means that they are someone I can trust to do well, you know? Vania, great question. What is your favorite Irish drink? Let me just type it in for you. I have two, actually. I have three. Irish coffee, hot whiskey, and of course Guinness. So they're my three favorite drinks, Vania. Look them up. Especially the Irish coffee. That's a very nice coffee, but it's too hot these days for an Irish coffee. That's a winter drink. So Zabaka, I wasn't a true friend. Exactly, Zabaka, and that's the most infuriating thing in life, you know. I feel angry when someone cheated on me. Oh boy, absolutely, Lavania, and that's why it's like so important to know how to get over a person, get over a phrasal verb that we had, you know, and it's important that, yeah, if you're let down by someone, you can't count on them. If they betray your trust, you can't count on them. So if a person cheats on you, maybe you can't count on them ever again. Ghana, yeah, we can count on you, teacher, to learn English. Yes, 100% you can count on me. And I will be here to help you learn English as much as possible on your language learning journey. Good job. So we're getting some great examples there. We're getting some absolutely fantastic examples. All right. So they were just some pronunciation tips. And again, what I would strongly suggest is that you go back and you listen again, like afterwards, you come back, you listen, and you just try to repeat. And then you try to make your own sentences, because like production, you need to make these sentences yourself. You need to use these phrasal verbs to make your own sentences. All right. So let's just jump straight to keywords. All right, keywords. Let me just make my face a little smaller. Kaboom, there we go. Okay. So these were the keywords, and these are just some ones that I was looking at, and I feel that these are especially ones that you can use in like all different aspects, and not just for phrasal verbs. So like this very first one, he would motivate the worst students. He would motivate the worst students. In this case, I'm talking about a memory, and that's why I'm saying would. He would, you know. We're not talking hypothetical or anything like that. I'm just talking about a memory, something that somebody used to do a lot. So that's actually a true story. My math teacher, I hated mathematics. I absolutely hated it. But I loved the class because that teacher would motivate the worst students. There's just some people who are made for teaching and some people who aren't. And this person was absolutely 100% made for teaching. And I guarantee you, if I asked any of my friends who were in that in that same classroom, they would 1,000,000% agree. And like, I think we can all, if you were fortunate enough to go to school, if you were fortunate enough to have an education, can you think of a teacher who would motivate the worst students? Can you think of a teacher who would help everybody and would bring out the best in people? This example here, number 2, that's an easy one, that's not an easy one. That's a plus adjective 1. That's not a adjective 1. That's a difficult one. That's an easy one. That's a tough one. That's a fantastic one. Anything like that. Like, seriously. This is a great way to start a sentence. And like, especially if you are if you're doing your IELTS exam, like, I hate these exams, they do not test English, but if you're doing an exam, that's a great phrase to use, you know? Tell me about a trip you went on with your family. Oh, that's an easy one. I went to Spain, blah, 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 blah. Something like that. Life is the best teacher, Zabaka. Life is a tough teacher. But yes, I agree. Life is a great teacher. Siblings. Siblings are your brother and sister. Excuse me. Siblings are your brothers and sisters. So my name's Ronan. I have 2 siblings, and I'm the most beautiful of us all. So siblings. This one here, piss off. I think Lavania, you spoke about that one earlier. Good job. To piss off is to anger. You know, and if something winds you up, it pisses you off. If something wound you up, it pissed you off. Like, we had a protest in town yesterday, and it was about 5G, and it was about masks and how masks are dangerous for you. And those people piss me off. You know, and like, there's a lot of people around who piss me off right now. But as Idun said, she would remove herself from the situation if it did piss her off. There's no 2 ways about it. Good job. So to piss off, and also you can just say piss off to a person. If someone's annoying you, hey, piss off, get away from me, leave me alone. Now, that's a little bit aggressive English, so if you use it, be prepared for the consequences of saying it. So use it at your own risk or at your own discretion, but I would not recommend it. Over here we have drive me mad. Drive you mad is very similar to piss off. Drive you mad is very similar to wound up. If something drives you mad, it drives you crazy. If something drives you mad, it like really, really, really irritates you. So my siblings drove me mad when I was a kid. When I was in school, we tried to drive our teacher mad, for example. Lavania, count on is like, I will be there for you. I'm going to presume you meant count on, and yes, count on is I will be there for you. So if my friend calls me and he's like, Ronan, I need your help, I'll say, hey Jared, you can count on me. I'll be there for you. And it's true, you know, I have a couple of friends that they can always count on me, and vice versa. And trust is a huge part of my life, a huge part of my philosophy. And trust is easiest thing to lose and the hardest thing to earn. And if you lose trust in someone, I don't know if you can ever get it back, truly. This one here, by a lake or by an ocean. So, Lavania, you live in Sicily, I believe. Isn't that correct? So you might say, I live by the sea. I live by the sea. Lavania lives by the sea. Ronan lives by a lake. Ronan lives by a mountain, for example. Good. When I grew up by the ocean on the west coast of Ireland. Where would you like to live by? Or which would you prefer to live by? A lake or an ocean or the mountains? Excuse me. Drive nuts is to drive you crazy. Drive nuts is to drive you crazy. Rely on. If you rely on a person, you count on a person. If you rely on a person, you trust that person and they are reliable. So think about someone who you know that is reliable. Think about someone that you can just make a phone call and you can say, I need some help, and they will be there. That's a person that you can rely on. That's a person that you can count on. Let's look at the comments. Where I'll be happy, I can say where I am now. Okay. A mountain. Good job, Gania. I don't know if I prefer mountains or ocean. I really don't. I mean, I love them both so much. Mountains are just, I mean, look behind me. You can see how much I love the mountains. I got a tapestry in my room about mountains. Top-notch person. A top-notch person is a person that you can trust. You know, a top-notch person is someone who you really hold in high regard or you really hold in high value. A top-notch person is a person that you can count on and that just you believe is morally good, ethical, everything like that. Good. It's rare to count on someone. I'm sorry for that, Gandhi. I count on a few people in my life. My doctor, for one. If you count on a person, just make sure it's the right person. I would like to live by the sea, especially in the Mediterranean Sea. Good job, Aidan. By the Mediterranean Sea. Good. My coffee's cold. Yeah, I like cold coffee. And this last one here, guys, to have your back. You know, I think I spoke about that in one of the examples. If someone has your back, they support you. If someone has your back, they'll defend you. And they'll be behind you, essentially. That's what it means. That they're going to be behind you and they're going to help you and they're going to motivate you and support you. So I spoke about my friend Jared and how Jared always has my back. And that means that if I have a problem, I can call Jared and he'll help me. And I have one or two friends that I'll always have the back, no matter what. And they call me, I'll help them because I trust them. You know, I know they're not doing it for the wrong reason. So if someone has my back, that's good. Can you think of a person who has your back, or can you think of someone's back that you have? I can always count on Jared. He always has my back, for example. So that's to have your back. All right. Reflection and true learning. So every week we do this, guys. You know the drill here. You know, like go back, watch this lesson again. Copy this to paper. Copy this to a piece of paper. Because if you don't reflect, if you don't really think about what you've done, it's going to be very hard to get some true learning in, okay? So what you need to do, you need to listen again. You need to find some new words. You need to figure out, is it a noun, a verb, an adjective, or anything like that? And you need to write a definition for it. So, for example, the word or the phrase, have your back. Part of speech, excuse me. Part of speech for that would be like a noun, or it could be an expression. And definition, to always support you. You know, and that's what I mean by this. So please do that. And of course, questions. If you've any questions, you write them here. And you try to answer them yourselves. Or you contact me. You know, you can hit me up on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. Leave a comment there. Anything like that, guys. I'd love to hear your questions. And of course, let me just talk about this for a moment. We're trying to raise some money for the bridge. This is English by donation. If you can donate $1, I'd be over the moon. $1. 50 cents, I'd be over the moon. If you can't, don't worry about it. If you can't, please share it with someone. You know, if you can't give $1, share it. And maybe if you can't even share the video, just do something in your community, you know? Like, it sounds cheesy as heck, I'm saying that, do something in your community, but I'm serious. If you can do something in your community, do something in your community. If you can give $1, please do. If you can't and you can just share it, please share it. You know? My mother and father always have my back. That's awesome. He never has my back despite his friendly behavior. Oh, Rezvan, that's a harsh example. But you're dead right. Cheesy, what does it mean? Alright, so cheesy is something that you could write in these questions. What does cheesy mean? Cheesy, word, cheesy. Part of speech, adjective, definition. Oh, you caught me. How do I describe cheesy? Hold on, I'm just going to Google it. Teacher Google. Cheesy is just like fake almost. It sounds fake. That's a good one. Oh God, you got me. I'll have to get back to you on cheesy to give a real definition. Off the top of my head, it's a tough one. If Halima is still here, what do you think, Halima? Cheesy. Cheesy is almost like it sounds fake. It sounds or inauthentic, but it's not. Alright? So cheesy. Like here I am saying, oh, help everyone, I want world peace. It sounds cheesy, but it's real. So overall, whoops, what's going on here? Let me just do this. Alright, now I'm big again. Huge Ronan, giant Ronan, coming in. Alright. Yes. So, cheesy is an adjective. Yes. Alright, so, yeah, thank you all for stopping by. Thank you all for joining. I really, really, really appreciate you coming here. And I really appreciate you coming every week, guys. I'm going back to work on like the second week of September, so I think we're going to have to change the day or change the time for these webinars. But I will talk about that later. But no, seriously, thank you all for joining. I really appreciate it. I really am happy that you're here. I hope you're happy. I hope you learned something. Again, if you can, please donate some money to the cause. The link is in the description. If you have any questions, hit me up. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. And yeah, have a good one, guys. And I will talk to you all very soon. Bye.